you ever found yourself feeling frustrated with the scales, a bit defeated, and wondering why nothing seems to work anymore? Maybe you've spent years trying to find the right things, cutting calories, exercise regime, following the latest diet, only to find that the weight just won't shift. Or perhaps you're at a point in life where you're thinking, is it even worth trying anymore? Is it too late for me? If any of these sound familiar, I want you to know that you're not alone. Over the years, I've spoken to hundreds of people who share these exact same struggles. And today, I want to talk honestly about the 4 most common challenges I see when it comes to weight loss, especially for those who are older than 50. I want to show you why these struggles are so common, the mistakes I see people make when trying to fix them, and what's really possible when you take a different approach. Because this is how you build your own success story and finally get control back of your health. I'm Dr. Nerys Frater. I'm an NHS GP and founder of the Lifestyle Clinic. After years of working in the NHS and supported thousands of people through my clinic, I've seen firsthand just how frustrating and lonely the weight loss journey can feel, and especially if you're female and over 40. And I've created this clinic because I'm frustrated with quick fixes and generic advice. I want people to have the knowledge of how to help their body function better rather than succumb to the list of medications that might await you. And in this video, I'm going to cover the 4 hurdles that come up again and again for people trying to lose weight, tailored specifically as you head past the age of 50 years. So first, there's a struggle with post-menopause weight gain, where weight gain around the middle is happening when you literally are eating nothing different to before. Second, there's the belief that you simply need to exercise more and the guilt that comes when your body can't keep up with these routines. Third, there's that feeling that diets just don't work, especially when you've tried everything before and nothing seems to stick. Maybe even diets that did in fact work in the past. And finally, there's the quiet, heavy thoughts that maybe it's just too late for you, that there's no point, real change is out of reach. So let's start with the first and quite possibly one of the biggest hurdles, the post-menopause weight gain. For so many people, weight gain after menopause feels like it comes out of nowhere. You might be eating the same as you always have, maybe even actually less, but suddenly the weight is creeping upwards, especially around the middle. This is often true for males around the same age, but might be more gradual. So you try cutting back, counting calories, walking more, but nothing seems to shift. And the message you get from the world is often, eat less and it'll be okay. But here's what I see time and time again. After 50, counting calories simply doesn't work the way it used to. Our bodies have changed. Hormones shift, metabolism slows, muscle mass decreases, and the old rules just don't apply anymore. What's really happening is that your body is becoming more sensitive to the effects of insulin and stress hormones, and less responsive to the old calories in, calories out formula. And it isn't about willpower or discipline, it's simply biology. I've seen so many people beat themselves up thinking they must be doing something wrong. But the truth is, it's the advice that's wrong and not you. Calorie counting doesn't work at this stage. And there's a real feeling of disempowerment that I see, because this period is often when changes are noted with health. Maybe your blood pressure or blood sugar is edging higher. Maybe you're experiencing aches, pains or brain fog that never used to be there before. And it's easy to start questioning yourself, wondering if you're missing something obvious, or if you simply don't have enough willpower. But actually what's really happening is that you're being handed outdated advice that doesn't account for how much your body and life have changed. Eat less, move more mantra can leave you feeling like you're constantly failing, when in reality you're doing your best with the tools you've been given. And this is where my approach is different. Instead of doubling down on calorie counting or pushing even harder with exercise, I help people shift their focus to what's really driving the changes in their bodies at this stage of life, which is insulin resistance. So rather than treating weight gain, rising blood sugars or stubborn belly fat as isolated problems, I look at the bigger picture. What's going on inside? How can we support your body to become more responsive to insulin again? The techniques I use are all about lowering insulin resistance and reducing inflammation, which is at the heart of so many of the struggles people face. And this means looking at the types of food you eat, how you structure your meals, the timing, your sleep, stress. It's all about the daily routines. It's not about perfection or restriction. We want you to work with your body and not against it. And when you can make that shift, the results are astounding. I've seen people in my clinic lose 8-10 kilograms in a few weeks, and it's not by starving themselves, but by making targeted changes that improve how your body handles insulin. One woman dropped her HbA1c by an incredible 50 millimole per mole in just 4 months, and that moved her from feeling anxious about her health to confident and in control about stopping tablets for her type 2 diabetes. Another client noticed her waist circumference shrinking within 2 weeks, finally seeing that stubborn belly fat melt away after years of frustration. And this is what happens when you address real root cause. When you stop blaming yourself, start moving the focus away from calories, you start noticing better results. The second struggle I see so often is the belief that not being able to exercise is the main reason you can't lose weight. In my surgery in the NHS, it's one of the biggest excuses I hear. Either a bad hip, knee, or bad back holding you back. And sometimes it's a lack of time, simply feeling too tired after a long day, doing too much. And I completely understand, life is so busy, and pain and fatigue are such big barriers. But let me tell you that something that might surprise you, which is exercise is not actually linked to weight loss in the way we've all been led to believe. In fact, if you do check the government guidelines on the benefits of exercise, you'll find that weight loss isn't even listed, which is astounding, isn't it? Exercise is absolutely wonderful for your health, though. It is like a magic bullet for your heart, mood, bones, brain, and so much more. I want you to move as much as you possibly can for all of those reasons. But when it comes to losing weight, exercise alone is not the answer. What's interesting, though, is that exercise is proven to help prevent weight regain after you've lost it. But it's not a great method of losing weight in the first place. So don't use not being able to exercise as a reason or an excuse for why you can't lose weight. You might feel that it's helped you in the past. And that's often because starting to move more goes hand in hand with eating better or feeling more motivated in general. Often a burst of exercise coincides with a period of making healthier food choices, not just burning more calories. So if you're struggling to exercise right now, don't let it hold you back. Focus on what you can control, what you eat, how you manage stress, and the small daily choices that add up over time. That's where the real power lies when it comes to weight loss. And what often does happen is that these changes lead to higher energy levels, which in turn increases the urge to move more. And that's what I do. In my clinic, I help people shift the focus from punishing workouts to gentle, sustainable movement, walking, stretching, strength training. Look to support your body, not exhaust it. And when you do find the right balance, you'll be amazed at how your body responds. I've had so many people tell me that they have way more energy now than they've ever done in the past, which is really amazing to hear. And the third struggle is when I hear almost every day, diets don't work for me. I've tried them all. And maybe you've lost weight only to gain it back. Maybe you've followed every rule, every plan, and still ended up back at square one. And it's no wonder, because most diets are designed for short-term results, not long-term change. They focus on restriction, willpower, perfection, rather than understanding your body. And here's what I want you to know. It's not that you failed at the diet, it's the diet has failed you, yeah? So when you're constantly starting over, feeling like you're lacking discipline, it is so easy to lose hope. But what's really missing is a deep understanding of what your body needs and a plan that actually fits your life. Because it is in fact not just your body you're fighting, it's your brain too. Would it surprise you to hear that your brain doesn't actually want you to lose weight? Even if you're overweight and facing health problems, your brain is hardwired to protect you from what it sees as danger. And losing weight from a biological perspective can feel threatening to your body's survival systems. Your brain is constantly working behind the scenes to keep you safe and comfortable, and it's programmed to resist change. When you lose weight, your body responds by increasing hunger hormones and slowing your metabolism, all in an effort to get back to your old weight. So it's not about a lack of willpower or discipline. It's about survival mechanisms that have kept humans alive for thousands of years. And this is why diets that rely on strict rules and sheer willpower are so difficult to stick to long term. Your brain and body are literally working against you, nudging you back towards old habits, making you crave foods you're trying to avoid, and making it harder to feel full and satisfied. But here's the good news. Once you understand that this is the way it is, not a personal failing, you can start working with your body and brain rather than against them. And this insight has truly been the biggest breakthrough I've made with the Lifestyle Clinic. Once I connected those dots, that it's not just about battling your body, but understanding and working with your brain, it completely changed the way I offered advice and support. As a doctor, my goal has never been to just help people lose weight for a few weeks or months. I want you to lose weight and keep it off for the long term. I want you to have lasting health and freedom from that dieting cycle and disappointment. And I realise that achieving this takes a different approach. It's not about stricter diets or more willpower. It's about learning new mindset skills, understanding how your own brain can sometimes try to sabotage your efforts, even with the best of intentions. And some of the biggest success stories I've seen haven't just been about getting diabetes into remission or dropping the weight. They've been about helping people after those results year after year. And I've seen people who have struggled for a long, long time, but they've actually reversed and maintained the remission of their diabetes long term. And how has that happened? Well, it's because they worked on their mindset. They recognise the moments when old habits, negative self-talk threaten to pull them back, and they've developed skills to move forward anyway. They learn how to spot the brain's safety mechanism and gently overcome them, rather than falling into the same old traps. And anybody can learn those skills. And finally, the fourth struggle, the one I find most infuriating, is the belief that it's too late for me. Maybe you feel like you've missed your chance, that your best years are behind you, you're taking too many tablets by now, injecting insulin maybe, or that change is just too hard. Maybe you've even had people tell you this is just what happens when you get older. But I want you to know, as someone who's worked with people in their 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond, it is never too late. Your body is always capable of change. It always wants to heal. I've seen people reverse type 2 diabetes, lose weight, regain energy, and rediscover their confidence at every age. The only thing that can truly hold you back is the belief that you can't change. So what's really possible when you take a different approach? Well, let me share with you some of the results I've seen in my clinic to show you what is achievable for everybody. Since 2018, I've worked with hundreds of people, most of them women over 50, many postmenopausal, all of them feeling stuck and frustrated. And here's what we achieved together. 1 in 3 people reversed their type 2 diabetes. Blood pressure has come down. Weight has dropped, often after years of nothing working. Joint pain has disappeared, energy returned, brain fog gone. People have come off medication with our supervision as well, including insulin. They've rediscovered confidence, freedom and joy. And these aren't just numbers, they're real people, real lives who decided they wanted to try something different. They stopped blaming themselves, stopped following advice that didn't work and started working with their bodies, not against it. So if you're sitting there thinking, I've tried it all before, I don't think anything will now work for you, I do want you to hear this. It is not too late. Change the approach, change the support. And when you believe that change is possible, everything can shift. And if you're ready to see what's possible for you and the first steps to get that control, then make sure you join the Health Breakthrough video series. This is a free video series and the feedback from others have been fantastic. So the link is available in the notes below the video and I shall see you there.